Hello everyone, my name is Erica Wittenauer, and today I will be informing you all about the science of play. And so, to begin with that, I want to ask you all a question as to whenever you are watching a child play, do you ever assume sometimes that a child is just doing it for leisure or for entertainment? And under that, guys, I can't blame you. It's a really common assumption for us to think that sometimes children only need play for simple social growth, and that is simply not the case. Um, in reality, our brain is working towards building connections to the world, building relationship skills, and building emotional skills, and also allowing us to get our first steps into problem solving. It is not just entertainment for us, it is a biologically and psychologically necessary thing for all of us to engage in as children. And so, as an ECE major, I want to introduce to you all how play fuels brain development, how it helps and impacts social emotional growth, and how it prepares children for the outside world as they get older, and what play means to us as we get older. And so, to begin, I want to effectively start with how play and brain development are interrelated. The key ideas within this is that play strengthens the brain's overall core architecture. It is at large our entryway into having neural pathways grow. As we understand it, many of our neural pathways are built through experience and through interaction with the world, not just observationally, but hands-on. And so much of our fundamental skills that we learn come from play. Key examples of this are things like imaginative play, building blocks, and even physical exploration. All of these things allow us to touch and feel and learn and kind of see what the world is before we kind of assert ourselves fully into it. And it helps with not only neural pathways, but also supports things like memory, attention, and problem solving, all parts of our executive function. And so many of these key functions start through play, which is really fascinating. Beyond this, it also helps boost language development, oftentimes coming through role play, which is such a big part of older age group play, especially within 3 and 4 year olds, and kind of your preschool age. That is their way of finally kind of asserting themselves into the world. Our first few steps come within touching and feeling and exploring, but then our actual assertion comes from role play and kind of imagining ourselves in all of these different scenarios. It's super fascinating. And so kind of the takeaway of this is that play is the essential part of brain growth, and it is biologically the brain starting its work, and helping us grow into who we are and how we see ourselves now. And so additionally, I want to also talk about play and social emotional growth, because just as much as executive functions and the brain are super intercorrelated, emotional growth is just as intercorrelated into that as well. Play teaches kids how to interact with others, and beyond that, I think just how they see themselves in a world. Oftentimes we talk a lot about mirrors and windows, two things very important to education majors, because mirrors allow us to see our reflection in a world. A lot of that comes from play, and windows comes from interaction, and kind of allowing ourselves to be compassionate and to understand that other people have lives, and so much of that comes from play. It helps with skills like sharing and cooperation, creativity, empathy, and problem solving. And beyond that, also self expression, confidence, and resilience. A huge one is resilience. We see this through things like kids fighting over toys, and kind of a kid finally understanding that, okay, maybe I can get another toy. Those are kind of our brains working, and it's really fascinating. Um, Take, for example, things like taking turns in a game and role playing with peers. These are all huge parts of our brain understanding our emotions for the first time. And it really builds emotional intelligence for our future lives. I think a big part of this is understanding that a lot of how we reflect on our emotions now as adults come from reflecting upon how we felt as children. So much of this is intercorrelated. And so, play and lifelong learning, to kind of continue that conversation, play bridges learning and real world application in a way that is fundamental. It helps with encouraging adaptability and innovation, and also helps with strengthening cooperation for schooling and learning, and kind of allowing children to understand that there is a love for learning, and it doesn't just have to come from papers or from reading books or from math problems. It can come from feeling around the world, and gaining insight from people. And so it kind of comes in exploring nature and problem solving during pretend play. Those are huge parts of our later reflection, and core elements of who we become come from those parts. And play just really prepares us to be flexible thinkers, creators, and learners. It is education at its finest and at its core. That is what this is. And so, to kind of wrap everything up, I want to kind of reemphasize that play is serious learning. It is our fundamental key element to how we reflect on things later in life, how we interact with people later in life, what type of jobs we get, what type of interest we like. All of these things come from exploration and play. Play drives brain growth, emotional strength, and drives us to love learning. And so, in a world that is so intercorrelated with test scores and with A pluses and B pluses and what it means to get an F, I think we often overlook the power of simple things like play. What looks fun on the outside is actually the most serious and effective tools we have to support our development as we grow. And so, next time you see a child playing, ask yourself, what is that child learning?